Hi, in this video I would like to talk about jquery.jekyll.globalnav. So we're supposing that you know some jQuery and that you know something about Jekyll. If you don't know something about Jekyll, the official website jquery.jekyll.globalnav is the best place to start. Jekyll is an awesome way to make static websites. I use it for HTML prototyping. So whenever I have a web project, I'll use Jekyll in some form to make a static prototype that is a bit more powerful than just a bunch of HTML files. So one thing I often use is this component that I made called global navigation. So basically what global navigation does is it provides a way for you and your client to interact with the prototype even if there are no internal links. So imagine there's a bunch of pages and there's links between them, but they don't really work yet, but you still want to show and list all the pages in the prototype. So using a tool like Axure, for instance, you'll have a sidebar which lists all the pages. So this is kind of the same, but without the bloat of Axure. So you will list the pages manually. So let's say I'm making a prototype for a sort of web app. Let's just go through the process and you'll see how it works. So let's make a simple prototype to show how the prototype navigation works. So let's take a simple web app and define some pages for it, just go through that and see how it would work. So let's say you have a web app, my simple web app. And maybe there's a form in there. So let's say there's an input type text and an input type submit. And maybe the only thing you have to do in this app is enter your name. So enter your name to be added to the list. So that's the only function of this web app. There's a form where you have to enter your name. So we have some basic HTML for this. We refresh our page and see there it is. So when you submit, maybe it's going to some kind of success page. So let's make this action thanks.html. So a new file, thanks.html, and then we'll pick out this index, copy paste this, and then enter thanks. So whenever we submit this form, we now go to thanks. So that's it, there's two pages, index and thanks. We want to list these pages on the left side so that when our app gets bigger and there's a lot of pages, that there's a good reference of all the functionality that exists in the app. So what you would do is to manually go to globalnav.html and then make a listing. So there's index, which is our main app screen, and then there's a thanks page after form submit. So this is kind of a quick reference to check up on these pages, to quickly switch between them. It's a simple example. In this case, you can just hit submit and go to the next page, but it gets it's easy to use this system when the app gets bigger. So now something else could happen, and that is that you didn't really enter your name. So you entered nothing and the form will still go to thanks. So we need some way to prototype this. What if you entered nothing? So this is some kind of error, and the error, maybe it should state something like, hey, you should enter something. Let's maybe make it a p-classes error. And then let's suppose we have some kind of style sheet here, screen.css. But for now, let's just do it this way. Error color is red, and we have this error here. So very simple, but now this error is here all the time. We only want to show it when there's actually an error. So what you would do for this is use page states. Basically there's two states to this main page, the regular state, which is this, and the error state, which is this. So what I would do in Jekyll is make an include for my content. So this is my page content, and then I would copy paste it into something called, like a file called main content, then reference this file from index.html, so include main content.html, then also reference this file from our new page, which is the error page, index error.html. We also need to include the YAML front matter, so let's copy paste that. Okay, so now we have two files, index error and index. So what we could do is maybe go to our global nav and then add the index error as a new page. I think it's with a dash, so index error. So now we have our different pages, but this is still the same. We're referencing a file here, so we can use the YAML front matter to do something interesting, like if page.error, show the error. And then we need to add error to our YAML front matter. So in this case, we need error to be true. And whenever error is true, it will render the contents of this page and the contents of this if statement. So now we have our difference between index, the main app screen, and the error, where the error is there. Now that's all nice, but really this page and this page is the same. So what I use for this is something called page states. So there's an example page state here which I will use. So I would often do this, change the page state, regular and error, and maybe call this index.html, and then reference from our global nav our page states. So we include the page states for index, and then also in the YAML front matter we'll include on index that the page states that should be visible are the ones for index. Same thing for error, show the page states, and then remove the other page, the error page, from the listing of pages. So what this looks like now is that you have the two different pages listed, but if you're on index and you click index, then you see the two states on the left bottom corner, so regular and error. So that's how I work with different pages and different states, and this way of working translates to bigger apps with a lot of states, like 7 or 8 states per page, and it provides a simple way for everyone to view the different states of one page and to navigate between the pages.